Digital Park forms part of the parcels that goes alongside Phase 3B with Homes England and Endurance Estates. Once you get the first drawing up, Digital Park comes to the northwestern corner of the site, and it's the main entrance point coming from the north along the road from Willingham towards Longstanton. We initially made a submission for this in late 2019. The main outcome from that was that we were requested to jointly collaborate together with Endurance Estates and Homes England to come forward with a coordination statement and guiding principles for the overall design of the houses on that part of the North Stowe development. That process was then started in early 2020. COVID caused delays in that, but eventually in May 2020, a joint statement through the good offices of Tibbles acting on behalf of Homes England was a presented document for coordination, and that then framed the submissions that Digital Park then developed, as well as Homes England and also Endurance Estates. So there have been coordination activities. The main driving thrust of that was to make sure that where the three parcels come together, that there was no avoiding duplication of, for example, play areas, and making sure that aspects for the properties had appropriate overlooking towards each other, that there were suitable green corridors provided, that there was good connectivity between the various spaces and so on. All of that was taken into account and submitted to the authorities. That then, the next following on from that, from the Digital Park side, the submission, we took part in the first virtual quality panel submission for CCC in July last year. That was quite successful. The comments received back from that came back quite quickly, and as a result of that, we were asked to revisit several aspects of the original submission. That has been now reviewed and updated, and very recently a resubmission made to the planning offices for the revised proposals for Digital Park to take account of all comments received from the quality panel and from the various consultees from the planning offices. So we're getting it up now, right? So the first drawing shows the location of Digital Park, which shows then the opportunities and constraints associated with that, which I think most people will be familiar with. There's a series of industrial units there. Quite a lot of them are redundant, very little usage of the space at the minute. That is the area being submitted for housing, which we can clearly see, because I'm conscious everyone to roll on with this. So you can see the opportunities and constraints coming through there. If we move on to the second one, John, if you don't mind. This then shows the connectivity between Digital Park and the Phase 3B land to the east, and then also to the Endurance Estate lands to the south. The central spine road coming through, the secondary roads off that for the various development. On the top, if you look to the northwestern corner, you'll see we've introduced an area which is an introductory square. So anybody coming in from the north has an open public space in that location. Then we've got quite distinct green strip coming through the central section of the development, running from north to south, to give green spaces linking through with all the development, coupled with the retained vegetation and the planting and the nature reserve, the play areas, the swales, the suds basins and so on around the southern boundaries too. The third slide, please, John. This then shows our current proposals for the layout on the site, which allows for a total of 80 units spaced across the land as shown there, retaining good strong definition around the edges with the landscaping, and also the requirement to remove some of the massing along the northern boundary of the Cambridgeshire guided bus route, but also expressing something of a distinctive nature so that we can see hopefully an exemplary design coming forward for what comes onto this at the gateway to the northern corner of North Stowe. Similar comments to housing ranked along the Station Road elevation, which then gives an open aspect to the site. And then the last slide from that one, please, John. Which then goes on to show how the overall scheme come together, the parameters plan for what we're intending to achieve here out of the development. and how that will be mixed and brought forward as part of the overall design philosophy for phase 3B. So the fundamental point of the redesign is to show the coordination and the guiding principles and how everything comes together as part of an overall package, rather than having in discrete packages all going to be guided together. And there's been very helpful, good cooperation with the partners, both at Homes England and Endurance Estates, in getting to this position. I think that.
Thank you, Leslie.
In outline format, clearly.
That's great. Thank you. We're running short of time on questions. We just have had some concerns about flooding that is happening, right now. Obviously, we've had issues from Christmas, but could you address some of those concerns from the local community on how your development will handle flooding?
Right. Well, we have actually quite permeable ground here, but what we're doing, you can see, we've got to the southern edge of the site. We're putting in attenuation basin. We'll also have coming through the site as like some swales and opportunities for much better dealing with the surface water on the site.
Okay, thank you very much.
Quite a lot of technical work has gone into flood risk assessments.
Okay, we will submit other questions to you directly so that we can get those, and we'll make sure we put those online for everybody to see. Thank you very much for your time, Leslie. I'm going to move quickly for Endurance Estates.
Yeah, that's fine. Evening, Sarah. I'll try and be short and sweet. I know you're sort of stuck for time. So again, thank you for giving us the opportunity to come and speak to you again this evening. I am joined by Jake Nugent from Endurance Estates, is also on the call. So if at the end there are any questions, Jake can field those if necessary. But really, I'm just going to provide a quick update on where we're at with the application. So the application, it was formally registered by the council at the end of August, and it's currently under determination. Just sort of point out, as Leslie has said, there has been sort of quite a significant amount of coordination and collaboration between both Digital Park and also with Homes England. So we have received back now the majority of the consultee responses on the application, and they have been all sort of generally positive. We feel that this is reflective of the extensive pre-application engagement and discussions that we did have prior to submission. So we have picked up on a couple of minor comments which have been made by urban design, landscaping and ecology, and a revised submission was sent through to the council for reconsultation prior to Christmas at the beginning of December. We're currently agreeing the access arrangements to the site with County Highways, and we'll be submitting some further information in the next week or two. Essentially, we've had to make some minor changes to the operation of the main junction, which we're proposing, and we're also currently just looking at the use and operation of the proposed secondary access, which is the existing field access on Station Road. Highways have raised a couple of issues with that, but just to reiterate, that access will only be used for servicing the utilities compound and also for serving the small commercial unit to be provided on the sort of main entrance into the site as well. To date, there's only been 4 third-party comments received from residents as well, and we're hoping that the application will be reported to committee in April. But again, that sort of still needs to be confirmed, but we're hoping that that will be the case. Just sort of touching on what Leslie said about drainage, if there's concern, so similar approach to be adopted on our site. There will be an attenuation basin will be provided, which the majority of surface water will discharge to that, and then it will outfall to the existing sort of drainage network on Station Road. So Jake or I are happy to field any questions that anyone may have, or alternatively, if you want to send them through, Sarah, we can pick up on them as well.
Will do. Thank you, Peter. We haven't actually had any yet, but we will forward any. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for coming.
Okay, yeah, thanks a lot.